Hi guys, welcome back to Chess the Matthew. So on this video, I will show you on how to win in the English opening in just 13 moves. So the set opening start with a move c4. So after c4, it has two radical ideas. First is after c4, it controls the center via c4 move, and also it allows now the knight on b1 to develop on the c3 without hindering the pawn on the c2. So here my opponent plays the move e5, tries to control also the center, and here I now play the move knight c3, in which after knight c3 it controls the center, and also I have now the pawn on c4, in which it also helps to control the center, especially the control on the d5 square. So here my opponent plays the move knight to c6, in which a developing move and also controlling the center, and here I play now the move knight to f3. Although it doesn't really give some danger on the e5 square because it was defended by the knight on the c6 block, but it also gives some influence of control on the center with the knight on the c3. So here my opponent plays the move g6, tries to develop his bishop via g7, in which it also helps to control the center with his dark bishop on the king side. So here I play now the move d4, tries to give some attack on the e5 because after d4 it has now two attacker with only one defender. So the white now is ready to capture the e5 pawn because it has only one defender, and here my opponent, instead of defending his e5 pawn, he chooses to play the move e takes d4. So after e takes d4, I take for a while and play the move knight to d5. Instead of capturing first the d4 pawn with two attacker and only one defender, I put my knight first on the d5 because later on I can capture this pawn. And after the move knight d5, it controls a lot of vital square on the enemy's camp. So here my opponent goes for his idea and defend his d4 pawn with the move bishop to g7. So here after bishop to g7, I start now to attack the black's camp with the move bishop to g5, in which after bishop to g5, it attack now the queen on d8. And here, the best defense I think here is to play the move knight to e7, but here the black here tries another one, in which he plays the move knight g to e7. So here after knight g to e7, I can now capture the pawn here because after knight takes d4, even though it has still two attackers with only one defender, I can set now a trap on the enemy's camp. Because for example, after knight takes d4, then here comes now the bishop takes g7, and then I can win his queen. So here my opponent see that idea and he goes for another way and plays the move bishop takes d4. And after bishop takes d4, I see here that the white is still winning with the move queen takes d4, because after queen takes d4, I win back my material deficit and also attacking his rook on h8. Although my opponent here can capture my queen via knight takes d4, but I can win here in just 10 moves with the move knight f6 check, and after king f8, bishop h6, then it is already now a checkmate because the king can no longer escape the check and cover and also capture the king pieces. So after the move queen takes d4, here my opponent chooses to play the move castling, in which he thinks that he can escape that threat to checkmate, but still I can win with the move knight f6 check. And for example, in the game, after my opponent plays the move king h8, still there is knight to g4 check. And for example, if my opponent plays the move king g8, then it is already a checkmate. Again, if my opponent tries another way, which is to play the move knight takes d4, then still there is checkmate with bishop f6 check, and after king g8, and there is knight h6 checkmate. So here my opponent now goes for a defense because he see that variation and plays the move f6, but still there is bishop takes f6 check. And again, if my opponent plays the move king g8, then there is still a checkmate. So after bishop takes f6, my opponent decided to capture now my bishop, but still loses after 2 moves with queen takes f6 check and king j8 and knight h6. So we shall see on this position that the king was under check and he can no longer escape the check. He cannot capture the checking pieces. He cannot cover. So in just 13 moves, I win with the English opening. So just a recap, I win in the English opening in just 13 moves after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I hope you enjoyed this video and please don't forget to subscribe.